Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, I'm doing something for today that is very close to me in terms of when it comes down to one of my hobbies. Now, the things that I do off stream or off my YouTube channel, I usually do video games. And what we have here is that we have Steam has deleted at least around 500 games and a few other games because, well, it offended the feminists. And I'm going to put this in a way that for you ladies to understand. If you guys want to keep your voting rights and whatever else you want to hold dear, go after men's games, the one thing that's keeping them down and satiated or what have you, so they don't act out. Take away their games and see what happens. You're not going to have the voting rights you're going to want if you see a whole bunch of women going after men's video games. This is the reason why men were trying to want to keep women out of video games, because of the exact reason. Whenever ladies go into men's video games, this causes issues. Now, we have this here, or when women go into any men's actual space, this is the problem. And we have this here from the gamer saying, Steam may have deleted a bunch of adult games because it was pressured by a group who previously tried to ban GTA 5 and Detroit Become Human. Last week, Steam revealed that it may start removing games that violate rules put forward by third parties, such as banks and internet service providers. Around the same time, it was spotted that some adult games were removed from Steam, making a huge change in practice for a storefront that typically allows all kinds of controversial material on its platform. Collective Shout, a so-called feminist group that is anti-pornography with a founder who is anti-abortion, claimed a responsibility for this change on Steam and the removal of the games. In a statement, it revealed that it had put pressure on payment processors to tell Steam to remove games containing incest and sexual abuse. So, okay, here's the thing here, right? I don't care what game you have or what game you put out onto the market, all right? It has nothing to do with me. I don't care. There was a game called Great Day or whatever, and that was kind of like a bit like, I'm like, okay, that's weird, but it's like, I'm not going to go and say and stifle this person's type of stuff out here and not allow them to make what they want. Yes, it's weird. I just won't buy your game. It's that simple, right? I mean, I just won't buy it. But I'm not going to go say you can't be allowed to create certain stuff here. That's asinine. Of course, this was removed from Steam, but you get the gist. Just people just overwhelmingly just didn't want the game out on Steam. That was the people, the audience talking about this. They just didn't want it here. Well, it goes on to say, however, this is far from the first time that Collective Shout has targeted video games, and previously with very dubious claims. Anna Valens reported as much for Vice, but then found that her article had been taken down, reportedly for concerns around the subject matter. However, her findings about Collective Shout are all publicly available, showing the group that doesn't just limit its campaigning to controversial porn games on Steam. In 2018, it shared a petition that called for stores to stop selling Detroit Become Human in Australia for depicting child abuse, even though it condemns the act and has the player fight the abuser. Family violence is a big issue in this country, and it's not something that should ever be considered entertainment. The petition reads, "Shame on Sony for allowing the release of such filth, and I call on Australia to take a stand against it and ban it from sales on our shores, in our stores." But again, this is just insanity here, right? This is just stupid. They even tried to campaign against GTA 5 for allowing players to unalive female NPCs. In the petition, they cited an instance of a player purposely killing a sex worker. Well, so what? It's a game. It's your freedom to do whatever you want. It's in a game. Just because you're doing this does not mean you're going to do it in real life. Come on now. Like, this is completely asinine here. And of course, you have this here. We have from Vice saying pretty much a group behind Steam's censorship policies have powerful allies and targeted popular games with outlandish claims. Over the past week, games have heavily criticized Australian group Collective Shout. Of course, it's from Australia. The radical feminist organization has taken responsibility for changes to Steam's payment processors that resulted in the removal of various games with taboo themes. As Collective Shout wrote on its official website today, the group has targeted nearly 500 games for removal on Steam, with 81 titles that the group still wants delisted in Valve's storefront. As concerned, consumers dug into Collective Shout history to better understand its future plans. Many have missed a key aspect in the public eye. Collective Shout has backing of several prominent anti-porn groups. So, it says on July 11th, Collective Shout published an open letter for the CEOs behind PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, PaySafe, Discover, and JCP on the JPC. On the post, Collective Shout includes signatures from executives such as non-censorship prawn organizations as National Center on Sexual Exploitation and Exodus Outcry. Other allies include the anti-porn groups Coalition Against Trafficking in Women in the UK. Of course, this is not something that is an ongoing thing, and this is what we have here. I mean, they went after Hunipop. They went after Exodus Cry. This is all insane here. What are we doing here with this company? Now, again, we will go over this right here, right? We'll go over a few things of the things that they've been talking about. So obviously here they have this that's in the works, or what they were doing here, and you can obviously see here that in the green, it says content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet networks providers, in particular, certain kinds of adult-only content. So this is the rules and the demands that they're wanting to do here for Steam. And again, if we go this here, we have this with a Collective Shout saying, win new policy on Steam and rape and incest games removed. Major win for women and girls. Following our successful campaign, a 70K petition to get grape simulation game, No Mercy pull from gaming platform, we discovered from almost 500 other games depicting grape, incest, and sexual torture and child abuse. Well, now that we have that out of the way, guys, we're going to do this here, right? Because this is where the horrible criticism comes place. It says, it's not a meme. It's not a they want fiction censored. I bet they defend cuties. Collective Shout quite literally did, in fact, defend cuties. Cuties, an ethically problematic but powerful protest against sexualization of girls. That's what they did. This is what they did. They defended cuties. Like, do you even want to know? Like, if we put this, I'm not even going to put it up. I can't even put it up because I don't want my YouTube getting attacked because of the debauchery that is cuties. If you know what cuties is, you know what cuties is. So this Collective Shout cares about females, cares about young girls, right? Cares about kids, but they defend cuties. Like, what are we doing here exactly? We have more from Mr. Obvious saying, Collective Shout, the group behind Visa payment processors banning anime titties on Steam and attacking Japanese devs, just got CCP containment breach removed for a naked non-binary entity called Peanut. This whole thing is just a continuation of Gamergate, but more ridiculous. So again, it says here, the company Collective Shout strikes again with pressuring Steam. This time they removed CCP containment breach. While rated 18+, one of them, non-human entities, Peanut, is seen as being naked and unacceptable for kids to be playing despite the clear rating telling them not to. So that's bloody wild here. It says, look at what Collective Shouts has been retweeting. They are the group responsible for censorship of games, anime, and manga. This is from Chibi Reviews. They don't realize they aggravate a huge chunk of the internet with their stunt. And it said, from Megan Murphy, it says, pervert nerds are responsible for most of society's ills. Prove me wrong. And that's the insanity part here. What were you doing? So, again, we have Chibi Reviews. This is one of the founders of the Collective Shout that is forcing Steam to bow down to payment processors. They think these characters are hurting children. Video games with porn and type parents are harming children, body image experts say. But again, they're attacking Halo, Cortana, and Tomb Raider, and then this is what I would believe. Dead or Alive, the sport game, and why are you attacking Cortana? Everybody loves Cortana. What are we doing here? This is what they're doing. They think this is hurting children. Yeah, this is hurting children. I mean, just don't let your kids buy these games. If you don't want them playing these games, just don't let them play it. We have this here from Savvy. She completely roasts these people, by the way. She says they're just lying now. The account, though, goes on to say that women can't let men just be happy. So the Collective Shout is just retweeting whatever sounds good to them with no further thought. But this is what they think. This isn't about protecting kids. This is about getting back at men out of some fan-fiction grudge. Thank you, Mel Tankers, for admitting none of it's actually about children and only took 24 hours for your meltdown to reveal the truth. On top of that, you dumbasses label me a man because you can't imagine a woman pushing back. But most women do push back. Go open the fictional fantasy novels at a bookstore penned by women. Gaze upon their raunchy shenanigans far more deeper than any grape and incest gang could dream of. Even I, an open-minded person, may have had to close books and never really visit them. But unlike you, I don't need the government to ban them. She goes on its. So yeah, this is the person here. Like I said, but A, these women don't understand that a lot of games have a grudge against women and will do some wild shit to get back at them. So I said, proof of a follow-up, gonna retweet this one too. Again, this is a thing. So again, we have this here from Pirate Nation saying a solo group known as Collective Shout claimed they're protecting women and children, but at the same time, they're also protecting PDF files, PDFs in the past. In other news, the organization spearheading Visa, MasterCard to censor Steam have shielded child grabbers from legal consequences before. So, yeah, it says here, woman members showed support for the writer, leaving comments saying that they would pay to watch the videos of the SA news of the post quickly spread online, and a petition was started on Xianghua's bulletin board, requesting that the person responsible be caught. On November 20th, 2017, a 26-year-old Korean woman identified as Ariam Lee was arrested by the Australian Federal Police in Darwin, Northern Territory, in relation to the incident. The suspect is charged with producing child abuse materials, announced that she will remain in custody until a court hearing scheduled for mid-January 2018. According to interviews with the victim's parents, it is suspected that her identification and credentials are fake and that she could have broken immigration and labor laws. So, again, this is crazy here. And this is the open letter to what we have here, to saying that they're talking about PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, PaySafe, Discover, Japan Credit Bureau, and what have you. So, again, this is all insane here, right? This is the craziness that we have from this feminist group. And let me tell you this 100% here, guys. If you want women's rights to be pretty much removed, do this. Mess with people's games. Mess with men's games. And you're going to have a huge slew of problems of when you do this. This is just outright censorship to the highest degree. The highest degree. This is not freedom of art. This is them censoring art in every regard. Now, do we want to play sexual games or what have you? That's up to you, the audience, and to the person that wants to buy the game. I'm not gonna go censor what you can and cannot create. Now, we could go talk about some of the other stuff, or crazy stuff about lolly or whatever that's in anime, which I love anime, but there is also that one side of the anime that is weird, and there's a gray area between where it's legal and not legal. Now, see, if they went after stuff like that, I may or may not have an agreement with that. It depends on what they're going after for, right? But again, this is not what they're doing. They're going after simple things, basic things, or saying things that are just completely false or egregious. These people are disgusting. And again, the women here are going to have, it's going to be the women that are going to suffer because of this. Because every single time we see women go after this type of stuff, and it's mostly due to censorship and all this stuff like that, where they are trying to censor everything. So you guys, so ladies, you're in your court now. You got to fight back against this, because I'm telling you, the younger generations are going to be going after you guys. And if you remove their games that's satiating them and keeping them from, committing chaos, you're going to have a huge problem. I'm telling you. So again, this is a huge problem. This is a massive problem, and I love games. I don't want my game being censored, because one of the games I love, which was Halo, which is being butchered, is now was targeted by this Collective Shout group. It's insanity here, and it needs to stop. So if you guys have any news on this, let me know. You can either email me, or ask me on Twitter or on YouTube, whatever, and I'll do a report on this, because I want this to be known that we need to stop this, because it's insanity. We have too much power within these people, and this company needs to be shut down, in my personal opinion. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.